If you enjoy imaging galaxies with a Seestar, one of the questions that eventually comes up is, what should I image next? There are thousands of galaxies in the night sky, but not all of them are equally practical or rewarding with a small, smart telescope. Some are bright and surprisingly easy to capture. Others are large but faint. Some have beautiful spiral structure, while others are interesting because of their dust lanes, unusual shapes, companion galaxies, or the challenge involved in revealing them. That is the idea behind 50 Best Galaxy Targets, a practical guide for Seestar users in the Northern Hemisphere. This book brings together 50 galaxies that provide a wide variety of observing and imaging experiences with the Seestar. The book starts with some familiar galaxies. There's the Andromeda Galaxy, Bode's Galaxy, the Cigar Galaxy, the Whirlpool Galaxy, Sombrero Galaxy, and Triangulum Galaxy. But the goal wasn't simply to make a list of famous galaxies. As you move through the book, you'll also find objects such as the Black-Eye Galaxy, Needle Galaxy, Whale Galaxy, Pinwheel Galaxy, UFO Galaxy, Silver Needle Galaxy, Fireworks Galaxy, NGC 891, Sculptor Galaxy, and many others. The targets are arranged roughly by difficulty. The first 10 are beginner targets. Then the book moves through easy, moderate, challenging, and advanced targets. So someone relatively new to galaxy imaging can begin with brighter, more forgiving objects and gradually work toward galaxies that require more integration time, better sky conditions, or a little more patience. Each of the 50 galaxies has its own full page. And the page is designed to answer a few basic questions before you ever take the Seestar outside. First is the quick facts section. Here you'll find the type of galaxy, its constellation, approximate distance from Earth, magnitude, the general best imaging months for Northern Hemisphere observers, and a Seestar difficulty rating. This makes it easy to flip through the book and choose something appropriate for the season and for the kind of observing session you're planning. Maybe you're looking for something fairly easy tonight. Or perhaps you want to try one of the more difficult galaxies and see how much detail you can pull out. The next section is called What You're Seeing. One thing that can be a little confusing when you first start imaging galaxies is knowing what you're actually looking at. A galaxy may initially appear to be nothing more than a fuzzy patch with a bright center. But as the image develops, there may be considerably more happening. You might be seeing spiral arms, a central bar, a dust lane, a bright galactic bulge, areas of star formation, or a very faint outer disk. So this section gives a short description of the galaxy and explains what makes that particular target interesting. And the variety is one of the things that makes galaxies so interesting. A face-on galaxy, like M101, gives you the opportunity to work on revealing faint spiral arms. An edge-on galaxy, such as NGC 891, gives you something completely different to look for, that long, thin profile and prominent dark dust lane. Then there are elliptical galaxies, such as M87, where instead of obvious spiral structure, you're looking at a bright core and smooth surrounding halo. So even though every object in the book is a galaxy, the imaging experience can be very different from one target to another. Each page also includes Seestar tips for success. These are practical suggestions rather than complicated astrophotography instructions. For example, a galaxy might benefit considerably from longer integration. Another may be better when it is very high in the sky. For a large galaxy, mosaic framing might be useful. For a faint galaxy, darker skies may make a noticeable difference. And for some of the more southerly targets, timing your session near culmination can be particularly important. The idea is to give you a few things to consider before you begin imaging rather than simply giving you an object name and leaving you to figure everything out yourself. There's also a what to look for section. I think this can be particularly helpful because it gives you specific details to search for as the image develops. Instead of just asking, "Did I capture the galaxy?" you can start asking, "Can I see the dust lane? How far can I trace the spiral arms? Is the central bar becoming visible? Can I see the companion galaxy? How much of the faint outer disk did I capture?" And that's when galaxy imaging starts becoming a lot more interesting. You're no longer simply collecting objects. You're learning to recognize structure. Every page also includes a small capture challenge. The challenges encourage experimentation. You might capture a galaxy with a relatively short integration and then continue much longer to see what changes. You may try different framing. You may include a companion galaxy. Or you may concentrate on revealing a particular feature. There isn't really a right or wrong result. The purpose is simply to encourage you to experiment with a Seestar and pay attention to how different choices affect your image. And then a large portion of every page is devoted to the Seestar observation log. This is an important part of the book because conditions can make an enormous difference in galaxy imaging. The log gives you a place to record the date, location, start and end times, sky quality, seeing conditions, moon phase, LP filter use, total integration, AI enhance, and whether the image was saved as a mosaic. There's also room for best result notes, framing and target notes, and perhaps most importantly, what I'd try next time. That last one can be surprisingly useful. Maybe the galaxy needed twice as much integration. Maybe the moon was too bright. Maybe the framing could have included another galaxy. Or perhaps everything worked perfectly, and you simply want to remember those settings the next time you image it. Over time, the book becomes more than an observing guide. It becomes a record of your own results. The progression through the difficulty levels also gives the book a bit of a challenge element. You don't have to complete the galaxies in order. You can choose targets based on the season, your sky conditions, or simply what looks interesting. But over time, you can work your way through all 50. Some may take only one session. Others may be worth returning to several times as your imaging skills improve. And that gives you a way to see your own progress with the Seestar. Because this guide is intended for Northern Hemisphere users, the observing suggestions are written from that perspective. A few galaxies, such as the Southern Pinwheel Galaxy and Sculptor Galaxy, can be quite low in the southern sky for many northern observers. Those objects become more about timing, horizon conditions, and taking advantage of the best opportunity you have. Other galaxies are much more conveniently placed and may remain good targets for several months. So the book includes both easy opportunities and objects that give you something to work toward. Ultimately, 50 Best Galaxy Targets is meant to sit somewhere between a target list, an imaging guide, and an observing journal. It gives you ideas for what to image. It gives you some information about what you're seeing. It gives you practical Seestar-specific suggestions. And then it gives you a place to record what actually happened when you tried it. For someone just beginning galaxy imaging, it can provide a structured way to explore this part of the night sky. And for someone who has already imaged many of the familiar Messier galaxies, it may introduce a few targets that haven't made it onto the observing list yet. That's 50 Best Galaxy Targets, a practical guide for Seestar users in the Northern Hemisphere. 50 galaxies. 50 individual observing and imaging pages. And plenty of opportunities to see just how much of the universe a little Seestar can reveal. Learn, image, enjoy, and clear skies.